All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the God South Show. My name is Cameron, and today we are talking about separation. Of course, by the title of the video. I also don't have that long. I'm trying to edit a video for my other YouTube channel where I play games over there. But what I'm talking about today is at least the season, or not even season, but the time of separation that a lot of Christians are about to go through, or are going through, as I am. It was actually a conversation that I had today with someone, and it just kind of made me realize, just people are going to start disappearing. People are going to start disappearing from your life, or at least moving away from you. People that family, people, people you've been friends with for a really long time, very close with, people you might have been friends with before you gave your life to Christ and even afterwards. But nothing in this world lasts forever. Simply put. I also want to say that it's it's just, I feel like this is also a kind of closer sign to the end times. I know that's an iffy topic. People talking about the end times because soon is soon. Not even the Son knows. Not even Jesus knows when that time is coming. And only God knows. But this season of separation is going to be hard. It is going to be hard, right? It's going to be people that you don't want to go. It's going to be a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a brother, a brother, sister, you know, friend, unrelated brother, unbiological brother, unbiological sister, best friends, just a lot of people who God knows is not for you anymore will go. And it is going to suck. But listen, God removes people for a reason. He removes them for a reason. And that reason could vary. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what's going on. But God will remove people. But do not hold on. Do not try to hold on to those people. Do not try to chase after those people. Right? The best thing you can do, I understand, trying to be a better Christian, you want to try to be, good with everybody. You want to try to make up with people. Try to, any enemies, no, I don't want to fight with you anymore. Let's be friends, this and that. Try to shake hands. But sometimes God will not allow your mercy and your grace to enter into somebody's heart and into their understanding, because he knows if they stay in your life, they will keep you down. They will keep you from growing closer to him. They will keep you from being on that path in your life. Maybe you can see your future, and your future is full of happiness and family and God and wealth and this and that. But that person could be that could deter you, essentially, right? So I was talking to someone, and you know, it just kind of seemed like no matter how I acted or even what I said, it's just something was always wrong. Something was always wrong. I don't know why. I don't know what I did, but apparently something was just always wrong. And it it's strange because I've noticed that kind of happening more. It kind of seems like the more I try to be forgiving towards people, the more I try to be cool with people, it just doesn't work. I even tell them, look, we ain't even got to be friends, but I just, you know, so you can forgive me for whatever I did to you, and I forgive you for whatever you did to me. And just still responded with negativity. Still responded with negativity. And actually, as you guys know, I, well, had a girlfriend. Um, And that was a similar situation. That was a similar situation. No hate on anyone, of course. Still love everybody, same as always. But what I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't matter if you want peace with them. If God knows that they can't stay around, he will push them further. He will push them even further. Um, all you can do is offer your grace and your mercy and your forgiveness one time. Once you do that, you've done all you can do. Any problem that they have with you is their problem. You got other things to be worrying about and thinking about. You only have one other person you need to be chasing, and that's God. You don't have to chase them. They won't save you from, they won't save you. Only God can. So why are you worrying about chasing that person, trying to chase down their forgiveness, trying to be cool with them? They won't help you. They want to go. Let them go. If you love something, let it go, as they say. You know what I'm saying? There is just no reason to, after the one time that you tried to offer your grace and peace, if they don't respond to it positively or don't say anything at all, let them go. You don't need them. You don't need them. All right. Now, I know a lot of people think like, oh, well, and typically in relationships like this, oh, they don't love me anymore. They don't even care about me anymore. Why should I love and care about them? Well, because, ask yourself, what would Jesus do? I mean, Jesus would chase, but that's because Jesus can save people. You don't have the ability to save anyone. You, well, not like in that way. You can evangelize and maybe you can change somebody's mind, but like you're not Jesus. You're not Jesus. You're not the answer to somebody getting saved. You know what I'm saying? You're not the answer. It There's just no reason to chase. Same as chasing somebody for love, which you should never do. That love shouldn't be asked for. It shouldn't be asked for in that kind of way, at least, like where you're having to chase it down, having to always do something to keep it. That's not how that should go. But no, there's just no reason to chase. You offer your forgiveness the one time, and that is it. Now, that unconditional love part, no, you can love somebody and still keep your distance. You know what I'm saying? You can. I'm not saying that you have to like check up on them either, but like you can just be cool with them. If you see them in the hallway, you don't have to wave or speak, but don't be mean. Don't be mean. You don't have to look at them strange or side eye them or whatever. Wave if you feel like it. If you feel like, like, hey, maybe I should wave at them. Wave at them. If you want to. But if they don't want to be friends, just don't. You can't force that on them either. But just don't. Just don't. Just, okay. Keep pushing, right? And if you're just like, well, I don't want problems with anyone because, I'm trying to be a better Christian and just trying to be a better example, people are going to hate you either way. People are going to dislike you. People are going to criticize you either way. You know what I'm saying? You could have been convicted felon, on drugs, out in the streets, completely gave your life to Christ and became a priest. People still are going to hate on you. They're going to hate on you for no reason. So don't worry about that. Because why worry about what somebody has to say? The only opinion that should ever matter to you is God. The only happiness that you should ever find should be in God. Now, yes, I say this, and y'all beware. Anything that I say on this podcast, I'm either learning myself or have already learned. Sometimes I even say things and in the middle of it realize, oh, well, there's the solution to whatever question I had. You know what I'm saying? So don't, you see me messing up out there, don't be like, oh, you hypocrite. Look, I'm learning too, okay? Leave me alone. Um, but the only happiness you should find is in God. That's why if you're starting to grow in your faith and you're starting to become better and better, and your friends of a really long time has started to separate from you, let them go. They're not, it's cool to have friends. It's okay to have friends. I feel like some people are kind of mistaken, and I even kind of made this mistake from time to time. But like, if I have my happiness in God, why do I need anybody else? It's like a different aspect of it. I don't know. I don't completely understand it, but it's okay to have friends. But if they leave, that's also okay. That is also okay because your happiness is in God. You can still go out and have a fun time with your friends, but if you're just sitting in your room and you're feeling down about something, your first thought shouldn't be, I'm feeling down, let me call my friends. No, your first thought should be, I'm feeling down, let me go read my Bible. I'm feeling down, let me pray. God, I'm looking to you to help me feel better, not them. That's the way it should be. That is the way it should be. Now, a lot of people um don't do that. I'm guilty of it. I used to. Um, well, I kind of did in my relationship. There's a ton of reasons I feel like God, took that relationship away from me. And all of them were my fault. I can't even blame him for it. A lot of them were my fault. Um, but I feel like that was also one of the reasons, prioritizing those friendships or that relationship over God. God is supposed to be your number one priority. But as far as this season of separation goes, if they want to go, let them go. If they want to go, let them go. Now, as far as that unconditional love part goes, just don't be mean about it. There's no reason for you to be mean. There's no reason for them to look at you strange, or like there's no reason for you to look at them strange like that or be rude about it. If you forgive somebody, that means you just, hey, look, it's whatever, right? Don't even worry about it, man. That's what it is. And somewhere in the Bible, my grandma quoted this. My grandma quotes this a lot. Says, basically, if God removes somebody out of your life, just, wipe your hands or your feet clean of them. Yeah, that's pretty good advice. That's solid advice right there. That is solid advice. I wish I actually pulled up some scripture kind of relating to this, but I don't know. I've actually never read anything like that yet, or I haven't at least. I'm gonna try to start doing that more though, having more scripture in these videos, because I was listening to one guy and he actually had a valid point. He was like, all these people starting all these podcasts and videos of them talking about Christ, but never showing any scripture to back anything up. That makes sense. My podcast, I feel like it's kind of a mixture. Sometimes it will be backed up from scripture. Sometimes it's just my own advice. But then again, my own advice isn't, truth. Take it with a grain of salt if you like. I don't care. As long as I'm at least helping you look at it differently, then I think that's okay. Or, that's kind of the end goal of it, at least. Like, look at it this way, That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm also trying to get out there and evangelize. I want to evangelize. I'm so ready for that. But I feel like that's all I really kind of wanted to say. It's a pretty short video, almost 15 minutes. That's pretty short. It's actually might be a new record. I don't know. I might go over, but my shortest video is 17 minutes. Yeah, just wipe your feet clean of them. Wipe your hands clean of them. That doesn't mean, just treat them any kind of way. Still be nice, but if they gone, bro, they gone. They gone. Simple as that. That ex that ex that seemed to have just broken up with you out of the middle of nowhere, bro, they gone. They gone, man. You just gone. Maybe they might come back. I don't know. I don't know what God got in store for you. But just go ahead, kind of get in your head. They gone. They just gone right now. Maybe just for right now, maybe later. I don't know. But just try not to focus on them. Focus on God. God is your priority, not them. Not that relationship. Um, I actually thought about having a relationship video come out, but I feel like it's gonna be kind of controversial, but kind of not. I might actually throw it into this video. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I feel like I say that because all this stuff kind of happened so recently, and but then again, I don't intend it to be towards anybody. Okay, I'm gonna try to throw in basically the kind of key points of it into this real quick. Try not to be as blaming, but if it was somebody's fault, it was somebody's fault. Simple as that, right? I can definitely tell you that God, took me out of it because of some of my own doing, and some of it I feel so ashamed for even doing this. One of the reasons was, like I said before, I was no, not kind of. I was finding more of my happiness in that relationship than in him. And you know what? I even learned that lesson. I even told my friend, dude, I learned, I got to find my contentment in God, not in this relationship. And yet I still did it anyways. Another one of the things that I did was I often found myself putting God second. I like, and then I even realized that, like, because I felt like I was always a second thought to, I always felt like I was a second thought to her. And I was like, man, I wonder if this is, what Jesus feels like when I was like, man, this has got to be what Jesus be feeling like. Cause it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great to always have somebody practically be number one in your mind. And yet you're number two to them. It's not great. But I even sat there and I was like, man, this is what Jesus feels like when, I'm over here sitting here thinking about this relationship and not thinking about him, and only really thinking about him when I feel like the relationship's going downhill. And yet I still kept doing it. I still kept doing it. So honestly, praise be to God for taking me out of it. I was heading in a hill of wrong direction, brothers and sisters. And honestly, don't date a non-Christian. I don't care. I don't care. Hear me now. Hear me now. Take it from a brother who's been there. Do not date a non-Christian. You know they are non-Christian. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. Because I promised you, God gonna show you. God gonna show you. He will show you. He will show you, bro. Do not be with somebody who is unequally yoked, bro. Because it ain't it. It ain't it. You will be brought down. Either you will be brought down or you will be kept at the level you're at. Don't do it. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. It ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it, man. I'm telling you, you would have more joy in somebody who also reads their Bible. Or like, no, you will grow better while being with somebody who also reads the Bible, who has a different thinking mind and is able to interpret things differently. Both of y'all could read John chapter 2 verse 36 and pull two completely different things from it, right? You are better off with another Christian. Don't really be friends with non-Christians either. I mean, you can be cool with them, but don't just be cool with people, but like don't. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard. It's hard to explain because I know some like preachers that are friends with non-Christians or even Muslims or is people of the Islamic faith, but it's just that I feel like that is a very strange and confusing topic. I do plan on having people on this podcast, so I will definitely try to have them on there. But I do want to say, just be careful. Be careful. Watch where you step. Watch where you step. Um, just watch where you step, man. I understand that you might really, really want that person to stay, but they're gonna go, and there are going to be people who are going to be against you for what seems to be no reason at all. Always find something wrong that you did. But you know what? You still got God. You still have God, and you still have your Christian friends. Don't chase the friendship and love and affection of people who don't want to give it to you. Simple as that. Um, I guess the final things to wrap this up is just kind of like a final little message to those who have not given their life to Christ yet, or, who haven't given their life to Christ, and those who live in repeated habitual sin and voluntary sin and live that kind of life. Stop. Don't do that. Stop doing that. It's this line, this fence, and if you're considering God, this line and this fence that you continuously straddle every day, like, oh, I don't know, it's God, person, this and that. What harm is it gonna bring you to at least try? If you feel like you've heard so much good that is causing you to sit here and straddle the fence every day, what harm is it gonna make you to try? Now, I'm not saying this Christian life is easy, but honestly, if I knew I was going to die, like, let's say I knew I was going to die next Friday, and I knew there was a way, or at least a chance of a way to help me. I don't know if it's going to work, but it could. I'm taking that chance. You see what I'm saying? So what harm is it going to do you to at least just give Jesus a try? If you're hearing all this good stuff, he's helped me so much. I just prayed one night and woke up a completely different person. The church is donating and helping and building foundations. Too good to be true? So what? Try it anyway. Try Jesus anyway. It's not gonna hurt you. Well, okay. I ain't gonna say that. But like, no, like it's not what you ain't losing nothing. Okay, wait, hold on, let me figure out how to put this. There's no harm in trying. Simple as that. There's no harm in trying. But to those who sit there and live in that kind of habitual voluntary sin life, and people who know of them, piece of advice, of course, pray for them. Pray that they recognize their wrongdoing. But just like 1 Corinthians 5:5 says, deliver those unto the hands of Satan. Wait. Where's my Bible at, man? Dang. I don't have my Bible. Let me see if I can open this and see what I can do. I don't forgot it. I'm mad that I did. Because it's like such an interesting verse to me, because you just never expect something like that. Okay. It says, you are to deliver this man to Satan for the destruction of his flesh, so that his spirit may be saved on the day of the Lord. What does that mean? Hold on, let me say it again. You are to deliver this man to Satan for the destruction of his flesh, so that his spirit may be saved on the day of the Lord. You can pray for them. Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell, he was talking about this and had some controversy around it, but it makes sense. you can pray for them, but if you really love them, you would pray them into the hands of Satan so that they can see the weight of their sin, so that they can feel the harshness and the punishment, or at least a fraction of what the rest of their eternity could look like. Break them down so bad that they have no other choice, even if they weren't even thinking about it. That a thought that comes into the mind is, I wonder if God could save me, which he can, but break them down so far that they think that they think they have the thought in their head, God is seeming like the only option right now. Make God the only option. That's what it's essentially doing. Not saying, oh, you know what, they can't be saved, Satan take them. That's not what it's saying. What it's saying is pray for their hard times. Pray for hard times for them so that they can see that their wicked ways, their sinful ways, would lead them to. Because you think life is hard, I don't even want to begin to fathom what separation from God for the rest of eternity feels or looks like. You know what I'm saying? So if you know somebody that is doing that, pray for them. I know some people. And honestly, I feel like I'm kind of to the point to where I'm even going to just try to pray for myself like that. I don't want to. I don't feel like I'm that, I don't feel like I'm there like that. Like, I don't, that's still sin, of course, but I don't feel like it's like that bad. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just going to take a little more on my end. But also, more, and by a little more on my end, I mean, in trusting in God and just different stuff like that. I'm just still growing as a Christian, but, don't be afraid to do that. Because if you truly love them, would you rather them suffer what they could think the worst point in their life is right now and see them in heaven later, or let them keep being happy and being free? And then now they doing whatever they doing away from God. And I think I know what my answer would be. And you know what? Just like I was talking about earlier, how some people just act meanly or aggressively towards you for no reason. I have somebody like that in mind. I have two people like that in mind. I try to offer my grace. I try to offer my forgiveness. Try to just be peaceful. Always seemed like something was wrong. And I'm not doing it out of revenge. I'm not doing it because I'm like, okay, well, you're going to do me like that? Well, I got a little loophole for me to basically make your life miserable. No, I'm doing it because I know, I don't think, I don't feel, I know that Jesus is the way to heaven, that Jesus is the way to true happiness. I know. Call me crazy, but watch how crazy I am when I'm right. I know that he's the way to happiness. I know that giving your life to Christ is the way for you to truly start living. That's why I pray for them like that. And honestly, I say that's the biggest form of love you can give them. Even if it's the last act of love you can give them. Because it's most certainly my last act. I mean, they need help sometime. I'm able to help out. If it don't cost me too much, I will. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that unconditional love like Jesus. Some of you don't have that unconditional love like Jesus. But even if you say, this is my last act of love to you, I'd say that's probably the best and the biggest one that you've ever given them. So don't be afraid to do it. Don't do it out of revenge, of course. I understand, if you got an ex that you're still, or a friend that you're still, kind of upset with. Don't do it because of that. Do it because you love them, and do it because you want the best for them. Now, some people will just be stuck on their own ways forever. Fortunately, that's the worst realization that I ever had when I started thinking about evangelizing and preaching. I won't be able to save everybody I talk to. I won't be able to save everybody I preach to. Some people that I see, they could genuinely be good people, but they won't make it to heaven. They won't. That's scary. And I hate that. And I hate the way that people are acting towards Christians now. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And I understand, if you're a selfless person and, you're not just somebody who's like, hey, I'm just worried about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just worried about me. I understand if you're a selfless person and you want to help. But I basically just told you the best way to help. You can evangelize. They don't really want to listen. Okay. And they continue living that habitual sin. Pray for them, of course. But if you're still seeing no change and you don't feel like they're going anywhere, pray them into the hands of the devil. Simple as that. That's the last thing you can do for them. That's the last thing you can do for them. If that don't even work, man, you let God take care of it. You let God take care of it. You want to keep on praying for them? Go ahead. Go right ahead. But don't. You done all you can. You done all you can. Don't ever sit there and beat yourself up thinking, I could have did more. I could have did more. No, you did everything you can. It was their choice. But I'm going to let you guys go. No new record. We're actually at 31 minutes right now. But I'm going to let you guys go. I want to thank you all for being here. And I will see you all next time. It's a tough episode. And I told you, I'm just being real at this point. It's gonna get scary, but it's gonna be there,